I'm excited about the fact that artificial intelligence can do tedious tasks that humans don't want to do. It can do complex tasks that humans can't learn how to do. And it can do tasks in new ways that humans have never dreamed those tasks could be done.
So dear friends and colleagues, good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My name is Alessandra Genco. I graduated from this university many years ago. It was April 1996. And I have the pleasure to be with you today to share a few thoughts about what if digitalization were to run the world in finance and beyond. Before starting off, let me share with you a little story. I joined Leonardo, at the time called Finmeccanica, 12 years ago. My first day on the job, I was introduced to my new colleagues, and I was walking around the floor. All of a sudden, I stopped by an office that looked a little bit like this.
Come on in here. What the hell is going on here?
I'm sorry, Mr. Hart. It was going too fast.
Now, that office, 12 years later, would look much more like this.
Now, Alexa can be used in an infinite number of ways, like helping your employees solve that pesky printer problem.
Alexa, ask the office for more printer paper.
Okay, I've ordered more paper. Should I send your job to printer 3?
Yes, that'd be great.
So it's really evident that digitalization has changed the world in which we operate in the last 10 years tremendously, and it's going to change it over the next 10 years and many more decades to come. In finance, which is the world that I know very closely, I see two main domains in which digitalization will have a huge impact. The first one will be in transactions, and the second one in reporting. Many people today, every single day, work for many hours just registering invoices and sending invoices to clients. A few years from now, this job is going to be robotized. RPA, robot process automation. A lot of the things that humans do will be done by robots. Why that's the case? Robots make fewer mistakes, they're more efficient, they work 24/7, they don't take coffee breaks, neither lunch breaks, and by the way, they don't even ask for salary increases. So it's a win-win proposition for the business. Clearly. In the world of reporting, same thing. Many of us in our previous jobs and many of our colleagues today are running analysis on a lot of data to try to understand what the macro trends in sales, in customer churns are. A lot of those jobs, a few years from now and even currently, are going to be done by machines. Deep learning, artificial intelligence, are going to be able to perform jobs that today are run by humans. Having said all that, is this going to scare us? My answer to you is no. That should not scare us. In fact, as much as we are concerned about job losses and how the workplace will change because of digitalization, I think there is a lot of positive elements that digitalization will bring. There will be a lot of new jobs that will be created, and there will be value creation for both society and for men. The World Economic Forum assesses that over the next 10 years, there will be about 6 million jobs created because of digitalizations in industries such as logistics and electricity. There are new jobs that have been created. Think about the social media manager. New sectors, cybersecurity, cloud computing service providers. So there are a lot of positive things. And the point that I want to make is that we need to think in terms of cooperation between machine and man, machine and human beings. And there are a lot of opportunities to cooperate. Machines will be focused on routine jobs, dealing with a lot of data, and repeat those jobs day after day, month after month, year after year. Men, on the other hand, will be focused on the more creative aspects of the job, figuring out how to change processes and how to reshape the workplace, and they will empathize. So they will put their judgment, which machines, as much as they learn fast, don't have yet at the level of human beings, and they will combine judgment with empathy. Empathy will remain clearly a key attribute of human beings. So the way we have to approach digitalization is by leveraging both assets and think in a constructive and cooperative manner to create value. In fact, machines will free up the man from a lot of the routine jobs. And that's the good news. And men will be able to concentrate on the higher end jobs. Another concrete aspect of this positive cooperation is in medicine. Think about a patient going to a doctor, going through a test, and this doctor inputting those test results into a machine that, because of the amount of large big data that it has, it will statistically assess that test on a wider population and will enable the doctor to perform a better diagnosis and provide a better treatment to the client, to the patient. So these are all positive aspects. Now, will those all positive aspects come naturally together? Not necessarily. We will need to have some enablers. And in my view, there are two key enablers. One are governments. Governments need to look forward. They need to understand what the workplace changes will be because of digitalization, and they need to proactively do something about it. They need to understand that socially people will have more free time. What does that mean? How can we redeploy that free time? How can we make sure that people continue to have the same level of satisfaction in their lives? One concrete example is represented by the Danish government. In Denmark, they've put together a task force, and they have identified 10 years from now opportunities for $10 billion of value creation because of digitalization across a number of sectors that span from e-commerce to healthcare to manufacturing. That value will come both to society, the dark blue line, as well as to businesses. So again, it's a win-win combination. Another great example is the government of Singapore. The government of Singapore is creating a skills future program that will enable citizens and entrepreneurs to understand what the implication of these changes in the workplace are going to be and how they can be prepared for it. The other big enabler is education. Education, 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 and universities. Education is the only thing that can put us ahead of the curve, that can allow us to keep always one step ahead of machines. We need to push the education towards the high end, and universities such as our alma mater will play a key role. In universities such as this one, there is the future of our ability as human beings to govern machines. And that is something that I deeply, I am a big fan of. And universities will also perform continuous education. Because once you get out of university 22, 23, maybe 10 years down the road, you'll need a new course to adapt to the new reality in which we are all operating, and to make sure that human beings continue to feel that they are completely entrenched in the new environment, and they don't feel detached or out of sync. So my message to you is, do not be afraid of change. Human beings have managed to run change and adapt to change in many circumstances. Sometimes we're afraid of what we don't know or what we don't understand. And that's why, again, universities are key, because universities can provide us that knowledge that will let us interpret what we don't know and what we don't understand. The key to success, the key to enter new domains. So we started off saying, asking ourselves, what if digitalization were to run the world? Let me conclude by saying, let's get ready, let's be prepared to govern and run our digitalized world. Thank you very much.